Hello everyone, Edgy's here. So, I made a post recently detailing my disdain for Destiny's current player incentive,
There is none.
and how, in my opinion, of the game just feels so lackluster after going free-to-play. Video on that post will be coming at a later date. However, today I wanted to talk about our current community quest. Essentially, the quest is just one giant play the objective task where players are basically told, hey y'all, remember about that public event you don't like doing? Well, how about you do that one en masse? It's one giant mistiming on Bungie's part. You mean to tell me after a lengthy grind event that recycled repeatable quests as content for 3 whole weeks, you want players to immediately forget that ever happened, and a season where content is repeated to nigh insanity? After all that, you want players to take part in a giant repeatable quest as a community? Now correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but didn't Guardian Games prove that player participation was at an all-time low for this game? Why would players want to do a quest like this if that means having to slog through public events? The same public events, no less. Though, I guess to player credit, at least it's the same public events on 3 different destinations. That's pretty cool, right? An excuse to revisit old content? Anyway, this quest has you start off by heading to Mars and talking to new Anna. She tells you how pleased she is that Rasputin is all ready to go to take down the Almighty, the actual important build-up to this season. Which in turn is real convenient that Rasputin is ready to tackle the Almighty, considering that this is the end of the season and all. You're then instructed by Rasputin to, in essence, play with other people and complete the Seraph Tower public event, the seasonal public event that nets you important seasonal currencies called War Mine bids. Now, that sounds all well and good, until you realize they want you to repeat this event. Until you realize they want you to participate in an activity that has no matchmaking. And until you realize at the rate the player base is going at this event, we should have this event somewhere completed in about 27 days, well after the season has ended. Bungie just doesn't seem to understand what makes content feel inviting nor rewarding anymore, and I say this not to bash Bungie's dev team either. They want this game to succeed, but they just don't learn from their mistakes. They see something the community doesn't like and will go on some lengthy twab post about how this will change for the future. And then the future content rolls around in a year or month's time and you're still doing the same things that got you into hot water to begin with. Why? So, as you can see in the background, I'm trying my best to do the event, and I went to all 3 destinations just to see if I could even complete one event, because again, that was one of the biggest problems with this event as a whole. The public event, there's no matchmaking. So instead of just getting a squad together in-game that actually wants to do this content, you're instead going to sit here on a destination, start the event, and hope players just show up. And when players show up, you just hope that they're just going to participate. And I'm going to have to reiterate, in-game, meaning I'm not going on a third-party site, I'm not going through someone's Discord, I'm not going through the Destiny 2 app just to find players. I'm merely playing the game and trying to get matched with some folks that don't mind doing some grinding. Now, this is aggravating for several reasons. First being, you're not even matched with others to do this event. The event is a lot harder and more than likely impossible to do when you don't have the extra bodies to compensate, which is a real negative to players that are solo dolo for the most part, as there's no real incentive to tackle this public event in the first place, and with that being said, it means you're not likely to see any players to begin with. Yes, I said that you could get the seasonal currency from doing this activity, but not as much as you would think, and there are just better activities to do for said seasonal currency. With that knowledge alone, knowing that this horde-like activity isn't even a good source for the seasonal materials turns players away. Second, you're forced to do this one activity for the rest of the season. It looks like, and because of that, you're fatigued to a point where you just forget you're even doing the event in the first place. I found myself just wandering around, which you'll see in the background here, where I just felt the need to fight the enemies around me and was never really concerned with the objective. Imagine logging into this game, like a job mind you, seeing the to-do list of quests you're hoarding and going, maybe today's the day I finish the Revoker quest. Or maybe I'll catch up with the group to play Pit of Heresy. Ooh, wait a minute, I know. I'll help this player base out by grinding the public event for the rest of the season, because if I don't, we'll never get this quest done. Third, and this ties in with the first point, is that you're not guaranteed anything out of this if you fail this event, which I did 3 times in this video. You're met with some consolation chest at the end, and all Anna has to tell you is, "Sorry kid, get good." You open this chest to basically find out all you got was a rock for defending the Seraph Tower for a whole 7 minutes. That's it. Rinse and repeat, and hope you get more folks willing to do this event with you. Now, I could go on, but I feel the gameplay speaks for itself here. There is no incentive to do this quest. The end reward is a legendary shotgun we had inside of Destiny 1 called Fellwinter's Lie. It's a pretty slick looking shotgun, I won't lie, but it is not at all worth doing to mere exhaustion. It's in a similar archetype to aggressive frame shotgun sitting at 55 rounds per minute, but it has a special frame attached to it called Shot Package, which makes the shotgun have more uniform pellet spread, so you can have some real lethal stuff with it, as it can also roll with Slide Shot for that partial weapon reload on slide, as well as the boost in range and handling. Or you can nab Quick Draw for those 1vx scenarios inside of PvP where you just need to be able to pull this weapon out as quick as you can. It can also roll either Opening Shot for the improved accuracy or range on the first shot, or Vorpal Weapon, which will make it a powerhouse against bosses. Now, despite the praise I gave it just now, some members in the community are saying this weapon will not even dethrone Mindbender's Ambition, which is a shotgun that has been sitting at the top dog slot for PvP and PvE for the past few seasons due to its absurd range and forgivability, which is intriguing considering that it's a shotgun. It's in the same archetype as Fellwinter's and is also an energy weapon, which this game has been sitting on a horde of since I can't even count how long compared to the kinetic weapons that we have in the game. That alone made me uninterested in this event that we're getting yet again another energy weapon. Here's an edit for you, dear viewer. At the time of recording this, a Reddit post claims that after 24 hours, our progress is at 5% on the EDZ Seraph Tower, 1% on the Moon Seraph Tower, and 0% on the Io Seraph Tower, putting us at pace for 50 days from now. That's even more well off after the end of the season. Now Bungie has tweaked the event slightly, saying on Twitter, "We have made adjustments to the Lie quest and the Seraph Tower difficulty. Champions have reduced power level and event progression has been slightly tuned. Effective immediately, quest progression has been giving a 5 times multiplier, which will be increased to 10 times on the weekends." We will have to wait and see by the end of the day if this made any significant change in player progress. So in closing, we have a community that is finally in agreement that this ain't it, chief. Some players are saying don't do this event because Bungie will just have to give us the weapon anyway because they put time into porting this asset from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, and some data mining confirm that upon release of the weapon we are set to have a weapon skin for it inside of Eververse, meaning real money for a cosmetic skin. Another user is saying do the event because if we don't, and if Bungie just rewards players with the weapon, that it will set precedence that the event will never be worth doing if Bungie can just press a kill switch at the behest of player criticisms. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this event in the comments. Have you been playing Destiny 2 at all lately? If not, tell me about it. And as always, thanks for watching.